So nice to have you here today.
Thank you for having me.
She is a friend that I made at the place that I used to work last. And I used to work there as a chef, and she was working there as well. And we interacted and we touched base on this one common thing that we have that we love is tarot. And as you all know, that I'm a tarot reader, and she is super interested and keen into tarot, is why we are here doing this podcast today. The topic of the podcast is passion project versus purpose project. And we both are super excited to speak about this topic. So, Arpita, first of all, can you introduce yourself a little bit to everybody?
Yes. Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Arpita Chug. Professionally, I'm actually a designer. I did my degree college, as people say, from NID Jorhat. So I spent 5 years there because of COVID. And post that, I worked in like a bunch of different places. Manam, that's where Dinima and I met. I was actually interning for the branding agency that designed for Manam. And then post that, I did a different like multidisciplinary approach to design where I was like, okay, I want to do textile, I want to do AI, I want to do product. And yeah, the last 2 years since Dinima and I met, I just tried to figure out which design profession did I fit best in. And I think around December 2025, I decided that, um, maybe this profession thing for me, working under somebody else, didn't fully align with the values that I share towards my passion, which I believe is to be creative, regardless of stream, regardless of like discipline. Um, yeah, so that's me. So I don't know how to like put into words what I do, but I'm figuring it out like as in when I go. But I'm here to create something. I know I'm here to build something, and I know I'm here to make an impact. How, when, where, all of that happens is kind of out of my hands. But I just know that every day, if I like put my head down and work diligently at what I think I should be doing, I'll reach there somehow, somewhere.
That is so relatable for me because I think the gods and angels and all the beings of tarot, I think, connected us for maybe this similar reason that I and you have similar values when it comes to, like I said, maybe I reached a space in my life where I also feel like I don't want to work under somebody and I want to be dedicated to this one thing that is creating an impact, making a difference in a meaningful way. And I just want to keep working towards it and figure it out in the process of the ways of workings. And just hoping and having faith that at the end of the day, I will be creating something that I feel strongly about, which makes a difference. And I also want to say that I would love for you to introduce featuring Mr. Peter, who's there behind you. He deserves a special mention in this podcast.
Fact. So Mr. Peter actually is a Pinterest picture that I found. But I'll tell you what I created. I created the frame in which he sits. So I took like pieces of wood and like I like made the frame with hammers and nails, got myself hurt a bunch, like sandpapered that shit. And yeah, because I just wanted to create. I just wanted to create art. But after I created the frame mattered like more to me than like what I put inside the frame because I created the frame. So I needed like a good stakeholder. So I found Mr. Peter on Pinterest. And ever since then, he and I have been besties. He's seen me through my worst. He's seen me cry. And because it's like a painting of a cat, their eyes follow you, like in the room. So it's always like I'm with somebody, but I'm really not. And if I ever have to like vent at the wall, I just do it at Peter. Hi, Peter.
Hi, Peter. That's such a cool story. You know, what it sounds like to me, I'm a person who loves interpreting symbolism and giving meaning to things. You know what it sounds like? It literally sounds like your introduction. It sounds like how you want to create something and you created like the frame and you went through this whole journey of emotions. And then at the end of the day, you just wanted to find something to fit into that frame.
Exactly.
So it's like, it can mean that, maybe you built yourself up, saw yourself through the journey of getting hurt by sandpaper and, enjoying the process also, getting your hands dirty. And then fitting the version of you in that frame. And ultimately, it's you creating your own sense of self in a way.
You have such a way with words. Like, it's beautiful to be on the other side and just to listen to somebody else talk about what I created like that. It's like, wow, maine kiya. So thank you.
You're most welcome. And also what I recall is I had this photo of me, my childhood. I'll show it to you right now. It is right here. So it's this photo.
Okay.
That's little me.
PewDiePie.
And I had a enlarged version of this photo. I think all the people who are listening to this who know me from my childhood have this large photo that used to be there in my room, and her eyes used to follow me because my eyes look like they're possessed by a demon. Like, you can't see the white color in my
Oh,
eyes.
it's just the black.
Eyeball. Yeah, it's so creepy. And it reminded me of how the child in me, I feel like, is following me everywhere. And that's what I relate to when it comes to Mr. Peter's presence. That maybe my Mr. Peter has been my inner child who's seen me go through that journey of ups and downs. Like we see our parents, go through their own journey. So yeah, coming to the topic.
Yes, I actually have a question for you before we begin. Do you think your inner child is like you? And you're like holding their hand and doing this adult part? Or like, do you think that they were a version of you who's like likes, dislikes, displeases, you're trying to like protect? Because I think my relationship that I share with my inner child is so different. Because there are times where I'm like, okay, I'm taking care of you. And then there are times where I'm like, I'm still the inner child. Like I need an outside adult to come in, hold my hand right now. Because right now, me and the child are both very scared,
Yeah. I feel like, and that's an amazing question because nobody has ever asked me such a question. So it's a very curious question. I love it. The way that I see it, I feel like my inner child is a part of who I am, because I think as we grow old, with every year, we keep collecting these parts.
Right.
It's almost like you saying, now you pick the pieces of the wood, little bit, right? And you put it together. So almost like my inner child is one of those pieces.
Right.
But it's a very important piece. Like it's like that corner piece that if it wasn't there, it would be an incomplete picture. It's a very, very crucial piece. So I feel like my inner child is always there, always present. And yes, sometimes it needs an external adult to hold its hand. But I think by the time that I realize that now I have grown up and grown out of that piece, grown out of being that inner child, and now I can be that adult to my inner child. I think that'd be great. And sometimes you need somebody externally to mirror that back to you so that you can, through like a monkey, observe and learn to be that adult. And then give that back to your inner child. And sometimes you just have this realization that, I've grown up now. And then I just start being the adult that I need to be.
Very nice.
Yeah. And there's a difference between being an adult and a parent.
Yeah.
So I don't know what you mean when you said an adult. Like, do you mean like a parent or do you mean like an adult?
So, adult for me is this provides the same amount of security I think a parent would. So for example, financial security, stability, emotional security, spiritual security, but a parent does that unconditionally 24/7. I feel like adults, they're human, so like they falter. There might be times when they don't sort of live up to the promises that are made. Because for me, when I look at my inner child, I don't ever see myself as being a parent to that child, if that makes sense. I always sort of see myself as just another version of this child who's now like playing dress up, you know. And she has the tools and the assets for the world to perceive her as someone who makes sense. I was saying the same shit I was saying when I was 5. Nobody believed me then, right? Like everybody was like, abhi bachchi hai, isko bhi na, like she doesn't know how the world works. Now I know how the world works, and I'm still choosing to not adhere to it. I'm still choosing to like take my, and now it's just my voice has backing because I have this adult like exterior.
Yeah.
But just, like now what will you say? Who are you now? I have these 25 random years of experience that I can clearly state kabhi bhi, ki like kisi ko bhi, ki I'm 25 years old, man. Like meko pata hai main kya kari. Shayad meko nahi pata. But तुमको क्या पता?
तुमको क्या पता? That sounds so cool. That sounds so cool. And it makes a lot of sense. And I think that dress up is what sort of sells.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
The dreams and the ideas of that child that's there inside of you.
Yeah.
The likes and dislikes. I feel that's amazing. And for the parent, I feel like the parent is a lot, as you said, unconditional. Like, so it's a lot like your higher self. It's a lot like that version of you that takes care of you irrespective. The adult can be a little bit of like an act. It can be sometimes a pretense. Sometimes it can be very genuine. It depends on what serves the needs. That's why I feel like the adult is more like a preserver and the child is like the creator, and the higher self can destroy the narratives that the adult self is throwing that, suppresses the childlikeness in the adult sometimes and the genuineness. So that just can be the ideology that I operate with sometimes. So it's pretty cool.
Cool.
When it comes to the topic of passion project versus purpose project, what do you think in your life? Have you figured it out? Like, what's your passion in life?
So, like, such a loaded question, right? Like, what is your passion? Like, you subah utkar karna kya hai? But
I'm so sorry.
But it's been fun to discover it. There are times where I know for sure that like creating is my passion, But then sometimes it feels like it's my purpose. Sometimes like it feels like my passion is probably just living and doing avara-gardi with my friends, and that's what I actually want to do. Like I just want to travel, and I just want to see places, and I just want to like people watch and go to like, so ethnographic studies was a course that we had at NID. Okay, it was a course where they took us to a village. I went to Gondia in Jorhat, and we had to spend like a couple of days talking to the villagers there, and I made a bunch of friends, okay? I made a bunch of friends who through COVID kept texting me back and forth. And I don't know, like that particular course at college changed the way I traveled forever. Because now I was not traveling to see the place. I was traveling to be and live in the place the way the people from that place live. And it changed it, okay, for me. Like, if I go to a place, I would want to rather like spend like 4 or 5 hours alone just walking on the streets, getting lost, finding my way back, because that's just what I would want to do. And that, I think, became passion at one point. But then comes creating, and then comes art, which is something that I've done for my whole life. And then comes like sustaining yourself, and what pays the bills, and more importantly, what have I studied for 5 years at a very well reputed college for? Why? Nobody taught me how to travel, so it feels weird to monetize it. But I paid a lot to be taught how to do design, so it feels right to choose that path to make money. And I think when I started doing that in corporate, especially when I joined like a proper corporate, which means like a big building, and I had to have a dress code, and I had to walk in, removing parts of my personality and making sure I stay from 9 to 5, because those were unwritten rules. That's when I realized that that's not what designing taught me. So I wasn't necessarily passionate about creating for you. I was passionate for creating for myself. And yeah, so I think that is what passion is. But it's been so confusing. It's been a lot, I think, personally only for me, because nobody else in my vicinity has a similar path. And how can they? How can they, right? Like, we all have different lives and different experiences to make us different people. And so even in the field that I am, I don't practice design the same way my peers do. And but that doesn't make me any less of a designer or make me any less passionate about it. I am still very passionate. It's just I don't know if the world had a job cut out for me in a cookie cutter system. I think I had to create it, and I'm in the process of creating it. And I think that is sort of trying to, like, I'm trying to make that into my like passion and what I call karam. Okay, so I have like this diary which is called like Dincharya, and it has just like things of the day that I have to do just so that my day feels complete. And the rest of the day, I want it to be open ended. I don't want to plan it. Okay, it's weird, I know, but I don't want to plan it because अभी तक तो लाइफ के अंदर ऐसा कोई सिचुएशन hasn't come up that I haven't been able to navigate. So tomorrow's day will also be like that. So I'm open to just experiences. But these 10 things in my dincharya include like brushing my teeth, drinking warm water as soon as I get up, like flossing, oil pulling, and just things that skincare, things that make me feel aligned to just my body, and things that if I didn't do, I would just bed rot. Because I had anxiety disorders and clinically diagnosed depression in college. So I can go endlessly just lying on my bed and doing nothing. Like, ये बहुत possible है. But if I manage to get up and brush my teeth, I know I won't get down and like go back to sleep. So those small things stay the same. And then last in my checkbook, there's karam, which is, did you do something to fuel yourself today mentally? Whatever it could be. For example, for today, it's this podcast. That's it. Because that's all I need. And the rest will come, and the rest will continue to come, because it's not in my control, but it's not against me either. So it, like, I don't know, having hectic amount of belief, चाहे वो fake हो, real हो, कुछ भी हो, just belief, I think is the only grounding thing I think that I have every day, good day, bad day, because I know tomorrow will come, and I know I'll handle tomorrow when it comes. So that is
God, there's so
passion.
much to say.
Please, like word
Passion
vomit.
is the whole of you. Dude, like the way that I heard it, passion is the whole of you. The entirety of you, including the Dincharya diary, to the things that you spoke of about travel, to your Avara Gardi. I think it's everything. It's you.
Yeah.
That's passion. And at the same time, you're monetizing it in some places, like specifically for a skill, a certain skill, which is, say, creativity, which is creating graphic or whatever it may be for you. So I feel like the entirety of a human being can be passion. For me specifically, in my perspective, I feel passion is something that brings a smile to my face. And I think I'm still on the journey of being that person who has a smile on her face for her entirety. Because like you mentioned that you've had your struggles with your anxiety, and you're very bound to, say bed rot. But those habits, they put you in a space where you're connected to your body and you're connected to yourself at the end of the day. Trust me, I do the same thing. Like, I have a diary. It's not Dincharya, but it's like a task list.
Okay.
And but it's done in a cyclical manner. So I've built a habit system of a cyclical manner. Say, for example, I have a morning routine. And in morning routine, I have 5 tasks that I have to finish, no matter what. And they are interrelated to each other.
Okay.
So, morning में brush के बाद ये, फिर इसके बाद sadhana के बाद you have your breakfast and then medicine, and then you are out of the house or you start your work, whatever it may be, for that day, which is not always planned. Like for right now, 2 months, it's internship. psychology.
Right.
I'm studying MA. Maybe in the last 2 months, it was not that. It was just focusing a lot on my editing skills. So in the night, it is again like evening turned down, which is like dimming the lights of my room, which is number 1. Number 2 is maybe listening to some music. Number 3 is either just chilling on bed and watching a movie, or maybe writing something, and then meditating, and then finishing with, say again, brushing my teeth. So again, the first task and the last task also the same. It's just-
Exactly. Yeah.
I love how that connects me. And see, it puts a smile to my face because it makes me so happy. It makes me proud. So I feel like passion is for me also the entirety of me. It's not only say food I'm passionate about, or I'm passionate about taking pictures. There's so much I'm passionate about.
Yeah. And how can you
All
like
passion.
limit your life to just one task? Because there's so many phases of me that I've already lived and are proofs that at every turning point I was passionate about all and like individually so many new things. So abhi tak to so much of my life, touch wood, is left. So God knows what tomorrow I might find that I might be passionate about. And I hope I have the time, the energy, and the willpower to take it on, you know, as a task that I want to do, regardless of like, are people watching? Is it benefiting you in some way? Because like, there became a point in time where every conversation I was having with people about what I'm passionate for in like today, what's up, what are you learning, and how do you monetize it? How do you bloody monetize it? Like, how do you get money is not the enemy, capitalism is. How do you sell yourself basically? How do you sell yourself while doing this activity that pleases you now in return for something like money or like praise or fame or A, B, C, whatever? But oh, my necklace fell. Wow. I don't know why, but every time something like this happened in my head, I'm like, is that something that I have to like keep in mind? I don't know. But my necklace had
We'll interpret it.
yeah,
What does
it has a little elephant.
Move it to the right now, little. I can't see it. It has an elephant.
Yes.
Yeah, so elephant is Ganpati, bro.
And my earrings have elephant. And can I tell you, I got into a really hectic college, okay? When I was like in 12th grade abroad and never ended up going. And the college had like this essay. You had to write an essay. I don't know what it's called, but you have to write some essay to get into the college, okay? And the first line of the essay was, I know I was an elephant in my past life. Because I genuinely believed it. Like, and I still do. But like the elephant got me there. So I really love elephants.
Elephant is Ganpati. It is Ganesh. It is the one who gets you through obstacles.
Okay.
वो विघ्न हरना बोलते हैं ना गणपति को. And Ganpati is also your root chakra. So what you were talking about right now when it fell is monetizing what pleases you. And root chakra is a symbol for pleasure. It's the space, it's the base of your being, which is to feel safe, to feel secure, to feel like you're surviving in a very flourishing manner in life. It is that you're doing something that pleases you. So
that's crazy, my friend.
And what it fell is also you saying that how do I monetize this? So again, monetization is something that is again going to make you feel safe, secure.
Yeah.
That takes care of your survival. So maybe
that's true.
So
who
maybe
knows?
when the Ellie fell,
then
and Ganpati fell, it might be a meaning if you want to give a meaning.
I do. Can I tell you, I believe that anything you put a symbolism to turns into a symbol. So चुपचाप हर चीज के अंदर symbolism डालो. You will get answers. तुम बोलो दुनिया को, तुमको दिखेगा, bro.
I feel that you're validating me so hard right now.
You know, this podcast is supposed to happen in person to anyone who's watching.
Yeah.
Like, we have been pushing this for so long. And I think the cool part about it is that regardless of how much we push it, I still feel like I'm in the same space, like mentally with you.
Yeah.
Like all our voice notes just back and forth, you know?
Yeah.
So it's very cute.
So I resonate with that so much because again, I feel like everything that happens in life, little pieces, little parts, moment to moment, is how a collection or a collective is made, how things are brought together as a full whole circle. So even as you said, symbolism, right? So a lot of times symbols have guided me. So I'll tell you, for the thing that I'm super passionate about right now when it comes to my passion project is my
Right.
food business. And cats have been following me for my food business. So Mr. Peter there is a symbol for me. Because the first time that I actually very strongly decided to start a business and I was this close to actually beginning, the logo of that brand was cat. A cat, half and half mirroring image.
Stop it.
So, and then so there's this place that I went to also recently. I don't know if you know Guruji. Like
Delhi's Guruji,
Delhi's
right? Yeah.
Guruji, yeah.
Yeah.
So even there, when I went, I always feel that when it comes to me doing food business, my passion is to feed the masses. Like on my CV, from the beginning, when I first created my CV ever, my first CV, it says feeding the bellies of masses from my heart.
Damn.
So,
Young Dinima knew, man.
and when I went to Guruji's ashram, and we went for langar. Although it was
Okay.
not hungry, but they said that if somebody asks you, never say no to langar. So I went for langar, and trust me, the moment I entered the langar wala area, a cat passed me by, and I was like, dude, I'm so gonna lose my shit because I so wanna do it. And
Yeah.
Guruji is known as somebody who's like a manifestor.
Right.
So for me, that was like, okay, piece by piece, I will get there. I don't know how. As you
One
said,
step
it's
at a
gonna be
time.
very confusing, but you will get there. So yeah,
It's
get
crazy. Yeah, I think symbolism also in like conversation, I feel is the craziest, okay? So kabhi there'll be like, suppose I have a conversation with you and then like a while later somebody else brings up a like topic that was discussed in this conversation. And that's when I know if my life was a movie, abhi audience would be like, इसलिए ये दिखा रहे हैं because अगला कुछ
Yeah.
होने वाला है. And I know it. I'm like, हाँ, इसलिए तो ये फिर से आया मेरी life के अंदर. Because like there's a reason. It's not here for vibes. And when even when I walk on earth, anywhere on earth, there are times when I like take away from me working and say that I'm not walking on earth, but I'm walking through gullies of my brain. And whatever
Wow.
I see, I kid you not, so animals and me have long rishta, okay? Like अगर हम choose कर सकते कि हम किससे बात करना चाहते हैं, इंसान या जानवर, मैं जानवर choose करती हर दिन. I think pure beings, truthful beings, just love, just love. There's no hate. Even in their kill, there is no hate. There is hunger and there's food, but there's no like, I don't know, repent or like revengeful energy. So even when I walk, whenever I see any animal, regardless of what animal it is, cow, lamb, hen, pigeon, like crow, dog, kuch bhi, I'm like, they're here for a reason because that's where I have to now walk to. So when I walk, I do this thing where I get lost, okay? So purposefully, so I stay away from my parents and I stay in this place called like Banaswadi. And it's very far away from where I was brought up in Bangalore. So these parts of town I've never like ever, I don't know, like seen. Like even my parents are not from Bangalore, they're from Delhi. So when you come as an immigrant from another city to a new one, at least like for me, it was very sheltered. So much of Bangalore wasn't shown to me the same way like a localite of Bangalore would have seen Bangalore.
Yeah.
You know, when we see like a food stall when we were kids, there was so much more, kya hum ye khaye? Is it safe? Rather than if it was in Delhi, every food stall for my parents is, kha lo. Like there's no bad food.
Yeah.
You won't get food poisoning. But I don't know, that fear sort of I could see. Ki there were things that my parents were protecting me, like they were protecting me. How could they not,
Oh.
right? I was their
Hmm.
kids. I don't even nothing against it. But now that I'm an adult, in my area, because I don't know it, I just get lost. I choose a different lane every time and I'm like, dekhte kidhar tak I will go. And kuch सपोज मैंने यहाँ पर एक बस देखा और उस बस का नंबर 777 है, I'm like चलो बस राइट जा रही है, मैं भी राइट जाऊंगी. And I will just keep walking, and every time I have done that, I've come back home having learned something new, having met someone, having had a conversation that I wouldn't have had. And I don't know, like I really use it to guide me in my life, because at the end of the day, the entirety of life is me having a conversation with me in my own brain. So there has to be some basis of my happiness. And if I'm getting happiness following that bus with 777, that's what it is. That's what
Why
it
not?
is. Why not? Why not is my tattoo. What the hell?
So you see, like, oh my god, there's so much to unpack, dude. I'm just even, like, oh my god, there's so much to unpack. So basically, you see how, like you said, that, you know, if you would look back even in your day, how everything is connected. So even for me, when I was talking to somebody right before this conversation, and we were talking on Riverside only.
Okay.
And we spoke of how this person who I was talking to, she's the middle child. And
Okay.
it's almost like child, adult, and parent, right? So adult is always like the middle one. And again, I mean, I saw how, again, this conversation had a reflection of being an adult. Creating a distinction between what it would mean to be a child versus a parent and an adult, which is exactly the conversation we had in the beginning. And
Yeah.
777 is a number for me for manifestation. For
Yes, me
manifestation,
too. Yeah.
for materializing things. It is a number. 7
It's
number
lucky.
is lucky. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, absolutely bang on resonance on the fact that how everything is connected, and like you said, being an adult and, you know, taking the bus ride and always learning something out of it. My journey ever since I quit Manam has been like that.
Yeah.
I quit Manam on a whim of, obviously, first of all, feeling like I have a bigger calling. Secondly,
Yeah.
because I was feeling mentally drained. Somewhere I felt like I was spiraling down the same space of depression, sadness, and it was getting out of my hands to control, because, to be honest, I did not have a balance of a professional and a personal life, which I would have
Yeah.
loved to have. And so I quit. And ever since then, tarot gods have been guiding me. Cats have been guiding me.
Yeah.
My dog, Melody, who passed away in February, she's been an angel. She's been guiding me. She's been carrying so much for me. So, and for this particular passion project, I'm feeling so blessed to be having this conversation with you right now, because it's so validating, as I said. Because my main aim out of this is community service. And community for me is animals first. So,
Yeah.
which is why this is a plant-based project. And I want to, with every food item that I put out on the menu at some point of time, certain percentage of it is going to go to animals and animal welfare. Because I think for my dog, for the loves that I feel for those sentient beings, for how they cannot say anything. There's some superiority we think we have as human beings, some of us, and I myself have experienced being that superior person with my dog when she was younger. So call it, I don't know, repentance, redemption, I don't know what it is, but for me now I feel like I've evolved
Yeah.
to be an adult, as they would say. I know my higher self is protecting me on this journey, but I still do what I have to do from a space of also being mindful that no matter where this journey takes me, there's always a learning in place. And I think in the last 2.5 years, I've gathered so much learning. I've met so many amazing people. I have conversations with so many amazing people, including you. And everybody is a guiding light. They say God works through humans, and God works through other sentient beings like animals. So I see how it's so valid and it's so true. And I think that's where I would say that I think, is there a real purpose in life? or purpose to life? Can purpose be a project? And all of those questions. What do you think?
Hectic, but I think there is purpose. I don't know if that is mera purpose, Arpita ka purpose or Dinima ka purpose, but I know there is purpose. And I think there's a part of ego that comes at play when I say I have purpose because I must have had purpose. But I also think that me standing here is proof of all of the battles that maybe my ancestors like fought, you know? So me being here is their purpose, probably, not just mine. So my grandparents came from Pakistan during the 1947 independence. So for them, even though for the rest of India it might have been like such a joyous time, I don't think it was for families, right? Who suddenly didn't have their like land, their family, their neighbors, things that they had known as home, suddenly being uprooted. And you know, there's this book that I've read by Alicia Park, my favorite author. It's called Island of Missing Trees. And there's this one line in that book, okay, that this very like small character comes and says and just goes. And then for the next 10 days, I was like, bro, ye kya bol ke chali gayi? Where she just literally says, the worst wars are civil wars because it's when old neighbors turn into new enemies. And I think there's so much unlearning that a family has to do, even in the way they show love and receive love, to believe that love exists when you have seen trauma like that. And so I think I do have a purpose because I know I'm here for them. Now, whether I create and what I create is purposeful for somebody else, time will tell. But I know that my purpose cannot be just defined based on what I do. It's too small. My actions are too small for the love that has been shown to me. Like, अभी एक बंदा क्या ही कर सकता है, but एक community उस बंदे के लिए क्या कर सकती है is a lot more. So it's very like dual toned. I want to say my purpose of like what is my purpose that I am as a being, and then my purpose that I'm giving to others, and how purposefully I'm living my life to impact others. Like only time will tell. Only on my deathbed, when there are enough people around who have mourned my loss, will I know that I lived an impactful life, right? And I won't even get to see it physically. But that doesn't mean that it was purposeless till that time came. It had purpose. Whether this conversation changed the way you probably think of something, that's purpose. If I change something through the same conversation, that's purpose. And I don't know, but that's all in the brain. That's all in the brain. When it comes to materializing things, I think we as humans like to know कि हमने ये सब किया, you know. Even to this day, a lot of my accomplishments have been things that I have done. So like the college that I went to, the jobs that I got, the friendships that I made, that has been, I don't know, like a driving force in where I'm going, I want to say. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I have purpose, but I would like to hope that I do. So, like feeding a stray dog on the road पानी, उस डॉग के लिए तो तुमने पूरी जिंदगी दे दी ना. अगर उसको प्यास लग रहा है तो उसके लिए तो तुम्हारा कितना पर्पस होगा. बट मैं अकेले कैसे डिफाइन कर सकती हूँ कि मेरा पर्पस क्या है? You know, it's such a collective thing. Like we are here on this planet together to be purposefully here together and create change. It cannot be me. It cannot be you. And I think I can feel it, you know, collectively in conversations that I've been having with my peers and friends and strangers. The world is shifting. There's a shift in the world, in the mindset, and how we look at each other. At least, I don't know if it's a positive shift or a negative shift, but there's a knowing. There's a knowing that their actions have consequences, and so if it's a positive action, it can have a positive consequence. You know, nobody, I hope at least, the privileged us, the people who are not in circumstances beyond their control, I think we should use our privilege to know that we have what it takes to make a positive impact.
Yeah.
So the more conversations we have, the more people who come on this side of the boat and realize that we don't have to just sink the boat just because it can sink, you know? Like we can choose so many other things. We can choose to fly, man. Like,
Yeah.
just who knows where you can go? Only you will know. And I think that there's some like somebody else also once said that like humans are just like a pendulum between despair and dream. So I think that's what life is. Some days I have purpose, some days I think I don't. And I think that is how it will continue to be. And yeah, I don't know. I hope I find I don't know. I hope I find something I'm passionate about that I'm sure of. To be purposeful about it is only something that I can do niyat ke saath. You know, that they say you just have good intention while
Yes,
doing
yes.
whatever. That's
Yeah.
all. How it is received by anybody else is beyond my control. So I've chosen to like chodo. So only because I think so many of these battles have been fought in my own home when I quit my job, or like even I quit my job on a whim, and the other job to shut down. तो जब वो बंद हुई कंपनी मैंने तो पेरेंट्स को बताया तक नहीं कि ऐसे हुआ, because I was just like, these are not conversations that I could have with people who had put so much of their aspirations on one child कि अब ये चाइल्ड जॉब करेगी, अब ये चाइल्ड मास्टर्स करेगी, अब ये चाइल्ड शादी करेगी, यू नो लाइक ये सारे स्टेप्स तो मैंने छोड़ ही दिए. तो फिर so many like battles were fought in my house only to realize कि what they want from me is to be happy. What I want is for them to be happy. We can be happy together without having like these external factors that define if you're successful, if you're not,
Yeah.
whatever. Like, who is to tell, you know?
Yeah.
So,
I feel that कौन है ये लोग और हम कौन होते हैं ये बोलने वाले कि पर्पस है हमारा कि नहीं है. I think
हम कौन
somebody
होते हैं?
I recently had said that अपने आप को इतनी importance देना बंद करो, क्योंकि I have purpose, my purpose. I feel like it's a lot of ahankar, a lot
It
of
is.
ego.
It is.
And what is simply purpose in English language would mean something meaningful, right?
Yeah.
And how can anything that is meaningful be my meaningful or your meaningful? Purpose can simply be a purpose. There is a purpose for things to happen. There is a reason for things to happen. There is a meaning thing for things to happen the way that they happen. Now, if I give meaning to it, I have some ownership, some possession over it, then will it be of a good intention or will it be selfish? You know, like, will it be that because I gave this meaning to this thing? So, you're right. I think by the end of the day, nobody ever knows. And yes, collective is shifting because people are questioning more. People are majoritarily, and on the basis of what I see on social media, there is a shift of people going in the wings of maybe having a belief system around saying being spiritual. Some people are going in the direction of a lot of occult sciences. Witches are coming back.
Yeah, I'm a witch.
I'm a witch too, babe.
Oh my god, conspiracy theory time. I believe there's a sliver of humanity that has not been documented in history where women knew their power. And once that collapsed is only when men decided that women needed to be oppressed. Because think about it, 50% of the population is oppressed. Sati, infanticide. मैं जाऊं तो मैं बहुत deep जा सकती हूँ कि women कैसे oppress हुई है. सोचो क्यों हुई? उसने कहीं ना कहीं fear तो था ना उसकी power का. तो मेरे को and history as a documentation is just one person's telltale of the story. Do we know what went in their brains? Do we know all the 1,000 open threads of that fact? No. And yeah, some history is documented better than others, which is why we know it better. But that doesn't make all of the other stories like redundant and baseless and like non-consequential or like कि हुआ ही नहीं. हुआ तो था, तुमको बस पता नहीं कि हुआ है. तो मेरे को लगता है कि निएंडरथॉल्स के बाद जब हम cavemen में थे, think about it. My professor in college told me this, okay? Our period cycle is 28 to 30 days. The moon cycle is 15 days. if we had to make a calendar, wouldn't we do it based on moon cycles? But we did it for some other reason. A period comes once a month. Why? There had to be knowledge bases that are beyond our like awareness, you and me, that came from just a human, probably a woman, understanding her body and understanding synchronicities it shared with nature.
Yeah.
And like, think about it. Who do you think started a fire? I don't think it was a man. I'm sorry, I don't think it was a man. I think it was a woman. The man bought meat and the woman realized that wo meat na kha nahi sakte kacha. So she made fire. So we don't have documentation of any of this. So we've just assumed that women are the fairer sex. Please,
It's like
please, you've taught us that.
it's
know,
like
there's-
storytelling, no?
It's storytelling. And
Storytelling. You
it's
can make whatever
generational
out of it.
storytelling. Think about it.
Yeah.
They've tried. They really tried. The girl is 7 and they've married her off. You tell me. We as women know that we reach like our spiritual like understanding of our bodies around 25, right? This is when we become more aware of who we are.
Yeah.
Why would they want it to stop so early? Ki now you go off to another. If you think of like maternal lineage, that is the only way an ancestry can be defined based on who your mom ka mom is. But why do we have surnames? Why? The woman is 7 and then she's like shipped off to another house. Okay, like not even 7, koi bhi age, meko farak bhi nahi.
Oh my
But
God.
she's shipped off to another house, separate from her lineage, because they know that when they are together, they have power. They have power beyond imagination, and they're like, nah, is power ko na, they can't know about it. So they've just systematically created so many traditions and so much. Like, I know this is a very utopian like concept, but I believe it. I believe there's
And
a
how do you
sliver of
think
humanity.
women are going against each other? On the basis of what?
On
Why
the basis
are
of
women-
what? Why?
Why?
I think community was started by women. So
like,
why?
Why would you be jealous of me? Why would you hate me?
Why? I would never. I feel safer knowing there's a woman next to me than I ever have with a man. So why would I be hating her?
Oh my
That makes no
God.
sense. So this is my conspiracy theory, that women have been systematically oppressed because once they find out their power, it's over. It's over for people who don't know they have it. So then make everybody believe that they don't have it. It's easier, no? Then nobody has power. You're not more powerful than me because you don't know it.
So, for Mr. Peter's sake, let me tell you a story of my past life. So,
Okay.
I did like a past life regression,
Okay.
and I saw in that regression, and my question was that how come I know how to read tarot? I'm self-taught, right? I haven't learned it properly. In between, I did do a course, but most of it I've gained like by my own self. It just came.
Right.
So there must be something from somewhere that I know this. So then I did a regression session and I found out that I was a witch. And
cool, my friend.
and I died in a witch hunt. And I saw that. And there was so much fear that I carried from that experience of my consciousness that in this life, when I did get in touch with tarot because it was calling out to me, I could not charge money for it. Why? Because in that life, because I charged money for it, and I charged it in a way where I wanted more of it for what I was doing. I was taking, say, people used to come to me to get the guidance or whatever in that life, and I used to ask them for money. But
Okay.
somewhere I wanted more for myself because I had a child to take care of, and my husband apparently left me by cheating on some other woman. Now this other woman hates me because of who? The man that's in between. And the insecurity comes from that space. Again, I have to take care of the child because that man is not taking care of the child, because the other woman is not accepting my child. So then I start charging more money for my sessions. Now,
You're
these
surviving. That's all you're doing.
Yes, and then all of these people in the community, they started calling me a witch because I'm charging more money, and they kill me.
I'm so sorry.
They kill me. And I see that in my past life, and there's so much fear that in this life, then it took me a lot of remembering, recalling, changing my belief system to then start charging for it. Like even right now, I know of people who have said things to me like, तू जादू टोना करती है क्या? Like,
हाँ, उनको बोला हाँ. उनके
तूने-
मुंह पे like
तो-
binge the fear.
like, have you made like a voodoo doll out of me or something?
Please, oh my god. Like, please, tell it, get off your own high horse. हमारे पास इतना टाइम होगा कि हम सबके लिए वूडू डॉल बनाते चलेंगे? नहीं ना, तुम्हारे पास और मेरे पास सेम टाइम है ना दिन के अंदर. Like, oh, and so many more questions about your ego when you ask me like that. You know, like, what do you think of yourself and what do you think of me? That you think in this power dynamic, I want to appease to you. I am doing all of this to appease to somebody other than me. Wow. Like,
Why?
beyond
Because
me.
you bring me pleasure in life.
Oh,
So to get that pleasure, I would
Ooh.
stick needles into a doll that I made of.
Ah,
Oh my god, bro. Crazy. So
crazy.
I feel like a lot of belief systems are shifting, which is our back. A lot of Indian knowledge system is coming back. Yoga is coming back into spotlight. So I feel like when these belief system change is how the narrative of the story changes. It's almost
Right.
like a screenplay, a plot and it's not like a plot twist in a major way. It's just like a build-up of the story. So there's this show also called The Foundation on Apple
Okay.
TV. I don't know if you've seen it. Oh my god, you gotta see it. It's
Okay.
like same. It's like human evolution shown into that, and they've just added stuff like 4D and 5D to it.
Okay.
You know what it would be to be in the fourth dimension,
Right.
and what would it mean to have a creator, and what would it mean when the galaxies are fighting? Then there is this another civilization that is being created that has gifts.
Okay.
There is a gifted civilization, and there's a civilization that is not gifted, but then
Okay.
still is working towards building or being at war or protecting. So then how these two civilizations would then come together, and this new civilization with gifts is called the Foundation.
Ooh. Okay, exciting. I shall watch.
it. Amen.
I shall watch.
So what I'm trying to say through this is that I feel like that all our gifts in our lives as human beings. Now this is just a sci-fi show, right?
Yeah.
But our foundation is the child in us who is gifted, or the gifts that we have brought forth in our consciousness from other lifetimes that we have lived as a soul, say for example. So these gifts then would become the foundation of what we are trying to build to protect something that we want to protect as the higher self that we are, the wiser self that we are, to offer protection to somebody who is not able to protect themselves, like say animals, you know?
Yeah.
So, and then the question is, what are we doing it when we are in the space that we are? Are we doing something about it? Do we recognize? A lot of people say, you know, my purpose in life for the longest time, mine was that I want to help people. But then I realized that who is this me that I'm giving importance to, that I will help people? Am I capable enough to help people? Number one.
Am I helping myself?
Am I helping myself? So then starting to work towards helping me first, and then just being. Maybe then from that space when I be, somebody will take something back. Hallelujah.
Yeah. Amen.
So yeah.
But this past life regression sounds fun. I want to know what is in my past life, but I'll tell you what I do, okay? Like sometimes I have these random like thoughts and I'm like, हाँ मैं past life में ऐसी थी. And वो मैं बोल देती हूँ, ठीक है? Like out loud. Because they don't really ponder in my head for too long. They come out in conversation and then they stay there also pretty much. I don't like look back and go like, okay, this is probably how I was in past life. But there are like couple of people who I've met in my this life who I'm sure I've had a past life connection with.
Yeah.
So one is my mom, and I know she and I were elephants together. And I don't know this from now. I've known this since I was 5. Like I've known this since I could speak, you know. And I've known that we were like together. This isn't our first like mother-daughter. We've done this game before, and I
love how you
feel
call it a game.
it is. It's a video game in my head. All things on my laptop, in my life, in my room, they're all just for me to have fun. Because I can very easily forget to have fun. I can very easily go back into the into the despair of the world we live in, and oh my god, there's so much pain, and there's so much that is beyond my control that I'm taking on my own shoulders. That I have to remind myself that I am but a small girl living in a random apartment in Bangalore, trying her best. She's trying her best. So yeah, so the other person who I think I have a past life connection is actually my boyfriend. I think we were past life kahin na kahin to. He's not, I've not met him in this life, that I know, for the first time. But I think past life mein kuch to hua hai, jo we couldn't be together or something. Like there was some pain. And then I believe that in this life, I don't think my purpose is to just be with Virat. But I think there was something to like unlearn something that probably happened from my last life, with him. And I feel it like in my soul. Now if I say this to people, I can come off as cuckoo. ठीक है, but that's how I feel, and that's how this relationship works better, because now I have so much more like nuance for it. I'm not only seeing you for this 3D person in front of me, but I'm seeing you for the soul that probably traveled with me, from somewhere else. So
Yeah.
so it's fun. I really want to do it. I really want to actively do like a past life regression session, but I will be very frank. There's so much uncertainty to what might come up in that session that I'm so like fearful of, because I don't know. I really don't know. Like, I don't know what is stopping me, but nothing is like putting a fire under my ass to like run and find out either. So I know one day when that need to know will come, I will go and do it. But till it's not there, I'm open to like just exploring and making these stories in my own head and validating them with my own life experiences. And one day they might get validated through a past life regression, or they might not. It doesn't make it less real for me,
Yeah. And sometimes when you meditate, you will see. You will know. You will have the knowing. Sometimes you don't say, if you are that open to, say, the occult world, then automatically when you start meditating, you will receive the information that you need to receive. You will see visions, considering you are a designer, you are a visual person. You will get the information that you need to know. Just have to set the intentions, just have to ask the question, and it comes, it flows. The subconscious mind, the unconscious, through symbols, it shows you. It might not be exactly the way it is, because it does work in coded language. So you just need to figure out, and you never know, it might be a cheat code to access another level in your life.
Who knows? Yeah,
because it has happened with me, and from experience I'm telling you that I have seen, like I was telling you, my life of a witch. It was like a cheat code for me, because in this life I unlocked it. I unlocked the ability. I unlocked the skill. It came back to me, and it does. Things do come back to you. I unlocked the skill of meditation from some life. I must have been a meditator. It's very easy for me to sit for meditation. So yeah, it's all there.
So interesting, man.
Find it and see it. And I feel like now, again, getting back to our topic for the day, purpose versus
passion.
I feel like there's so much to think about and talk about, and I don't think this is a topic that can be ever discovered through one conversation. I think it is a series of conversations. Like, I always see my podcasts as a series of conversations that are up-leveling from one conversation to the other. The last podcast I had was Head to Heart, a journey.
Oh.
So how you move from your mind and being like overthinking, thinking, and then you lead to your heart, which is calm, peaceful, creative, leads you into your desires and like a dreamlike world and a lot of love. So this is like next level, passion versus passion. Because when you're at your heart, you feel passionate about so many things, right? So I always see it as a series of conversations that will lead you to your passion and your purpose. What do you think?
I agree. So there's this very hectic debate that I have with one friend of mine. Is there one God or is there two? Is there good and evil, or is it just good? And is it all divine power, or there is power and anti-power, and I like to believe that there's only power. I like to believe that there is only good. And what comes against good is the fear of love. it's conditioning, it's survival, it's trauma, it's so many other things that were painful, but they're not. They're only powerful in your brain. They don't have any real, power. The real
Yeah.
power lies with that one,
Mhm.
source. So I also think like heart and manifestation and creation all stem from the same source. So, so yeah, I don't know. I think it's an extension of it. So many times when I'm doing something and like when I'm writing, sometimes I'm writing and I know I'm not writing. It's coming
Yeah.
through me, it's touched again.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I just feel like like as long as I'm open to being a vessel, I will be one. The day I decide that my cup is full, my purpose here will also be done.
And do you think your mind is something that stops you from being the vessel?
It does.
Okay.
Mind is all the fear that we have been taught, conditioned. Bachpan se, we've like, there was never a time where anybody just let the child be and explore and do the things that probably the child could teach you, if it was just in nature and if it was pointing things and probably like just blabbering what you thought was blabbering, they were probably revealing secrets of life that nobody had probably the cognitive dissonance to like stop, ponder, think, not write it down, kuch nahi. They were like, हाँ बच्चा है बोलने दो, and what came to mind later was learned facts and so I feel my mind does stop me. My mind is as I said, I have anxiety disorder, so there is a part of my brain that consciously is trying to keep everything under control, everything, to the point where like if I'm having a conversation with a stranger, sometimes I might over prepare myself for that conversation because I want to be prepared, because I want to do it right. And I think that unlearning is to realize there is no right. There is no right. There is only being. There is no correct way of doing something. So letting that go. So I hope one day my mind will also follow that same light that my heart does. And hopefully one day I will be strong enough to choose that light every single day, regardless of what circumstances, people, whatever, outside my control. But it's that despair and dream, kabhi acha, kabhi bura. Pendulum. So, yeah, that is life. So I'm trying.
We're moving.
We're moving
We both
because
are
it's the
moving.
pendulum.
Love that. So, yeah, I think to wrap up our episode, I would like to tell everybody that there was one perspective that I took back from our entire episode, and that was the perspective of not feeling alone and finding a lot of validation in somebody who you never would have thought you would find
Crazy.
validation in, who you met unexpectedly, connected because of a single thread or a single object in this situation. But they end up leading you to a place where you end up growing. You end up loving yourself more. You end up seeing yourself more. You feeling more confident because you feel valid. So I think thank you for your presence.
Virtual hugs, man. I really hope one day it can be a real hug.
Yes, I haven't seen you in 3 years now?
2023, I remember I came. So yeah, 3 years. Yes.
3 years.
And our conversation was what? But 1 minute of you walking up the stairs and then saying, hey, do you believe in tarot? And I said, yes. And you were like, okay, we will talk more. And you just left. And I was like, okay, I made a friend.
And that's it. And then it was me connecting with you because I was seeing your name everywhere on my Instagram feed, and then reaching out to you and asking you, dude, considering you're a designer and I need this thing, so can you help me out? And you opening the world of design completely, that like made my world a more creative place.
Yeah, and for me, it was to finally like, I don't know, when you came into my life, I must tell you, I had just quit my job. It had been a few days, weeks probably. I don't remember. Time is so not non-linear, but it was just like a couple of like it was a time after me trying, like having told people ki I'm choosing myself, and then now having to choose myself every day. Wake up and know that there is no job to go to and decide what I want to do with my day. And that's when I connected with you. And though I don't know, us just talking, and we were just 10 voice notes long, ek ke baad ek ke baad ek, thought. And I was just like, okay, there's somebody else in the other part of the world who's doing this with me. Whether she knows it or whether she doesn't, she is. I'm using what she says in daily conversation and daily life. And it's beautiful. So
Yeah, me too. Love
Yeah.
that. Love
Love that.
And what perspective are you taking back today?
I think my belief in like symbolisms has just like gone up like tenfold. And the belief of like humanity a little bit, that there are people
Yes.
that
Yes.
who try regardless, who are doing who are trying their best. Let's not say doing, let's just say hearts, love. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Mr. Peter, why not, man? Okay, I guess not.
Yeah, it's okay. You can
It's
have
fine.
mine.
Yeah, maybe I'm here to receive it.
Yes. Oh my God, girl, receive all the love. And I'm glad you guys take something back from this conversation. It was a beautiful conversation, very multifaceted in my retrospect. And I really hope that you take bits and pieces and see what resonates in your life, what perspective does it bring about in your own thought process. And I hope it leads you to your heart so that you can connect with lots of hearts around. Okay, bye everyone.